from the IBA at Winchester, engineering announcements for the radio and television trade.
Hello and welcome to this week's engineering announcements from the IBA's Engineering Information Service. Today, the state of the consumer electronics trade with the delivery figures for 1984 just released by Brema. In transmitter news, extensions to Channel 4 coverage, important information concerning Crystal Palace in the London area, and one new relay in Wales, Macanapa.
Figures are now available from Brema for consumer electronics deliveries to the UK market in 1984, and there are some interesting trends to be seen. Deliveries were inevitably influenced by the miners' strike and worsening economic factors, especially towards the end of the year. The colour television set is, of course, the mainstay of the brown goods market, and there was a slight 2% overall increase over 1983 figures. But the large screen sets were in fact down by 12.8%, with small screens up by 28.6% to compensate. The proportion of imported large screen sets is sadly on the increase, 25.1% in 1984 compared with 23.1% in 83. Small screen colour sets have always been largely imported, and this was virtually unchanged at 62.8%.
Teletext has declined slightly. 18% of all sets delivered in 1984 had the facility. In 1983 it was 20%. But the good news is that teletext exports were up to about 28,000 sets last year, compared to only 1,900 in 1983, almost a 15-fold increase. New markets for British sets clearly are developing. Video recorders had a bleak start in 1984, with a decline of 34.7% compared to the first half of the previous year. But there's always a seasonal upturn in the fourth quarter, and last year this was 5.2% better than 1983. The re-renting or churning of existing VCRs is partly to blame for the figures looking bad.
In an earlier stage of development is the market for the compact disc player. Growth has been hampered by a shortage of discs, but now sales look set to accelerate strongly. In 1984 there was a 65% increase, with deliveries of 33,000 players. Finally, home computers. Deliveries to the trade remained constant, but sales to the public in 1984 were below 1983 levels, suggesting high stock levels. Sales totalled 1.35 million units, with deliveries of 1.7 million. So what of this year? Well, interest rates look set to fall and consumer credit always seems on the increase. Let's hope the 1985 figures turn out better.
Transmitter news next, starting with special announcements. In Devon, aerial maintenance continues at Stockland Hill. This means reduced power and occasional interruptions until the end of the month. In the north, Caldbeck and Pontock Pike are liable to reduced power and interruptions until the end of July. In Northern Ireland, aerial maintenance at Brema Mountain continues, and reduced power is now expected to last until the end of this week. Aerial work starts today at Dover. The station is liable to reduced power for the next 10 days or so, and is due to be off the air this morning until about 10. The same applies on Thursday and Friday this week, and again next week, also on Tuesday, Thursday and Friday, off until 10 in the morning.
On Guernsey, Les Tuyers is due to be off this morning until 10:30 for mast painting, and the same applies tomorrow. In South Wales, there's aerial maintenance at Pontypool, and the station is off the air this morning until 10:30. The same applies to Pontardawe, off air today until 12:30, and off tomorrow, Thursday and Friday mornings until 10:30. In the northeast, Ravenscar is off today between 10 and 11 in the morning, and again this afternoon at 4:15 for about 5 minutes. And the relay at Swinister on the Shetlands is liable to reduced power and interruption for the rest of the week.
In the Borders, Thornhill is off today between 9:30 and 1 because of work by the Electricity Board. Tomorrow in Scotland, Girvan will be off until midday because of aerial maintenance. In the Midlands, Bromsgrove will be off tomorrow between 9 and 11:30 because of work by the Electricity Board.
In the northeast, Hunmanby will be off on Thursday between 10 and about 3:05 because of aerial maintenance. Also on Thursday in Wales, Mynithmachan will be off until 10:30 in the morning because of aerial maintenance. This also affects Cwmfelinfach, Pennar, Treharris and Abercynon. On the Shetlands, the relay at Scullaway will be liable to reduced power and interruptions from Saturday until next Tuesday, also for aerial maintenance.
Important information now for viewers in the London area using the high-power main transmitter at Crystal Palace. Starting next Tuesday, there will be reduced power for 3 days, including evenings, while we install new aerial switching equipment. Having done that, we shall then be able to tackle complete replacement of the transmitting aerial panels at the top of the 700-foot tower, with a minimum of disruption to service. This will be done during August, but it means at least 3 days of transmissions on a reserve aerial and another 3 days on reduced power from the main aerial.
We've sent out a letter to all those on our trade mailing list explaining the exact schedule. If for any reason you haven't got one, then please contact us and we'll send you a copy. As always, we'll include full details in our engineering information on Oracle Teletext, page 590 on Channel 4.
New relays next, starting in Mid Glamorgan. We're pleased to say that the difficulties with the incoming signal feed at Machan Upper have been resolved, and the station is now on the air. The relay is designed to cover just over 900 people in the lower area of Machan, mainly to the south of the railway line. HTV Wales and TVAM are on channel 62, with S4C on 68. Group CD aerials should be used vertically polarised. Machan Upper is now on the air. Due later this month in North Wales near Rwabon, Kevin Mauer, HTV Wales and TVAM on channels 41 and 47 respectively. In Mid Wales near Machynlleth, Corris. Here the channels are 49 for HTV Wales and TVAM and 42 for S4C. In both cases the aerial group is B, vertically polarised. Kevin Mauer and Corris are hoped to be on the air towards the end of July. The relay at Llangubbi, which we had hoped would be ready this week, is now expected in August.
Channel 4 next, and 2 more relays now on the air. In Kent, Faversham on Channel 32, covering a population of 3,000. Just south of Glasgow, Netherton Braes, on the air a little earlier than originally expected. The channel is 32 and the relay covers 3,000 people. Now due later this week, Ramsbottom in Greater Manchester. The channel is 68 and this relay covers a population of 3,500.
Well, that's all for this week. If you have any technical queries or reception problems, do contact us. Our address: Engineering Information Service, Independent Broadcasting Authority, Crawley Court, Winchester, Hants, SO 212QA. We'll be on the air again next Tuesday at 9:15 and 12:15. Hope you can join us. From John Lovell and Maury Nicholson, goodbye from Crawley Court.